little bit at the same time, if we get like a chest full of 1,000 gold and there's a starving village, like, here's like 200 gold, but we keep the rest for ourselves. Like, we have to look after ourselves, but we shouldn't be. I don't think the party should be assholes about it, because at the end of the day, we're all fighting the same enemy.
Yeah.
The general consensus for everybody.
Covering our bases.
The only thing I was really going to say on top of all that is this is actually kind of a neutral answer, but it's almost like when in games people try to give their groups a name before they even really came together and played yet. I mean, I know we don't even know who our characters are yet, so it's almost really kind of hard to answer that question in terms of like foresight. I think just for the show circumstance of it, I think it makes more sense for us to be. I mean, there's a bad that is evil out there, so it makes more sense for us to be good if we're going to counterbalance this thing. But I'm trying to take the same thought process of, it's almost like, how do you come up with a name when we don't know even who we are as a group yet? Like, once I think we have like that, I think those go cohesively together. A name and your thought process of a group mentality would. Then when we pass the citizens and they say that, there goes. Right. Blah, blah, blah.
And I'm not saying like whatever you pick is the concrete. I'm just like, this is good stuff to
just
talk about before we get into that, just so everybody kind of knows. So it's
I think I have kind of a good comparison for this one. Like, if you watch the first campaign of Critical Role, they were essentially, their party was the heroes in that campaign pretty much from start to finish, right? And now in this second campaign, they do have like, they're kind of trying to fuck each other over sometimes, and they're like kind of not totally cohesive as a party sometimes, and that does sometimes create like a lot of awkwardness when you're watching the stream,
From a production standpoint.
Yeah.
I think that the most important thing is like going back to the reference if we're just walking down the street. I think if someone sees our party walking down the street, then we'll be like, oh man, those are blah blah blah. What if we come up with a team member, they call us by name? Like, I don't want adoration, and I don't want terror. I want respect, and that's what I feel like the neutral, at least lawful neutral, will stand. It's like, yeah, they'll fuck you up, but they also might save your life.
I think a lawful neutral standpoint, generically, would be a good place to go.
And lawful neutral is kind of like the embodiment of diplomatic straightforward and planning almost as well.
I would say neutral good or lawful neutral is the two best for this campaign and for a production. So that doesn't mean all of you have to be the same, but I mean that kind of that gap somewhere in there, I think, would be the best place for you guys to fall into.
Yeah.
All right. Single classing versus multi-classing. Obviously, this is more of an individual thing. We don't have to go into that until we get to a certain point, but that is something I kind of want just to get everyone's opinion on, and what you plan on doing or what your preference is, just so everyone else can kind of plan around that. Do you guys plan on single classing or multi-classing? Because this is a campaign where you're going to be doing all 20 levels. Most campaigns don't do that, and that was one of the main things I set out on this is, you guys will be doing all 20 levels. So there's pros and cons to multi-classing. The con to multi-classing is that some of the really good shit for classes are at the very bottom, and you don't normally worry about that in a lot of campaigns because they don't get to that tier.
Yeah.
But in this one, you will be in that tier.
At the same time, most of the classes top out at their like best ability at either like level 14 or 17. So you do end up getting like those few levels to play with if you want to add more diversity to your character. But I'm cool with playing a single class to level 20 for sure.
That's actually a question I had for you, Sean. I know you want us to build the characters up to level 20. But what if something like story-wise happens that might pull the character into multi-classing? Like, what if you have a whatever, like a barbarian that some event happens and he wants to take levels into cleric or paladin even. Like, what if he feels like he's a changed man since he's actually interacting with society now, and he like wants to hone his skills? Like, how is that gonna work? Because I hate to go back to Critical Role, but like Vax, when he became a paladin, it was story wise and it was story driven. Because if he'd gone to 20 with assassin, holy shit, like they're broken at level 20. They're insane.
Right. So the ultimate answer to this is it'll make sense when we get there.
Okay.
But to kind of explain, because I didn't want to go too much into detail before, because I didn't want to waste time on this topic with everybody, because we had a lot of people applying and auditioning. So there's a major game mechanic difference in this than in any other game that you'll ever see. And it has to be this way for it. Now, I'm not saying your character can't change. But to explain it without explaining it, if you couldn't change it, how would your character go? Now, I'm not saying it's set in stone to you at this moment. So just build it as if what this character would become if it couldn't change.
Okay.
Single. For me.
Single. Yeah, me too.
Okay.
Single.
Yeah, I think that'd be an interesting ride to actually, because like I think we even mentioned earlier, like no one, I think my highest level character is like a 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there, and it's like a 7-3 split kind of thing. That's not even split, Kyle. Math. All right, so it's like a 7-3 combo. But I mean, it does make it fun. I mean, it makes it a little bit more, if you can really kind of, just those little niches, kind of combo them together into some fun things. I mean, I definitely like, if I had to pick, I don't want to do it because this combo with this combo makes for death things. I much rather have, if it does happen, to have it be story driven. I don't. So I guess my answer is solid straight, unless story deviates otherwise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we get to the part where we're going to start rolling, I think everybody's in the character creation game right now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so if you click the collections tab, don't click them yet, because once we get that point, it's that's what you get. It'll be under the macros, character creation, and you can put it in bar, or you can just click it from there and roll. So that's what we're going to use. Once it's in, you get one shot. And in the macro, most of us have played around with this.
I wasted them.
It'll produce the rolled attribute scores, and then it'll also say in there the standard array, so you can choose the standard as a backup. You do not get to reroll. It'll tell you, because we're creating all 20 level, and you might have the same question as you did before. What if things change? This is going to be established from the beginning of what you get. I'm not saying this is the only thing. There are going to be other stuff, but this will go into effect for your character. So it'll tell you at what level you get certain magic items, so that level that you get is rolled based off of certain parameters, and then also you're going to be rolling from different magic item tables. Now these magic items, while we're still in this character creation phase, you guys will be able to trade. Once the game starts, they're going to be bound to character. Does that make
Perfect.
sense?
Perfect.
Now that doesn't mean you can't utilize it to benefit somebody else, obviously, but you can't be like, hey, you want to trade shirts? You know, I don't like the Lakers anymore. Here's my jersey. Yeah.
Like them.
I'm going to be giving you a free boon. So anytime you are level 20, you will have the boons are for past 20. So you will only have that when you're level 20. Even if you know you're going to be getting it, you do not get to utilize it. Just like with the magic items too. So at level 5 you're going to be getting a chainmail, armor. You don't get to utilize it, obviously. So those are swappable, but the boon is not. It's going to be part of your character. So you can either tailor your character around this boon, or you can not. If it ends up not being beneficial to any of the multiple classes you want to go, you don't get to re-roll it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There
Like
are
if you're a barbarian and you get like magical affinity or some shit like that.
So yeah, this is not swappable. You're either going to utilize it or you're not.
Price is Right
there may
music
be
plays in the background.
there are possibilities for acquiring additional boons at a cost for something. So this is not the only one you may have. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of dynamics in this, not swappable. And then the last thing you'll get on the macro is a backstory tie-in score. So this is going to be initiative number. So I'll explain that when we get there. But obviously, higher number goes first.
Okay.
But before we get to that,
When I logged into the game, it was very hard to not click that button.
we've
I
been playing
I
with it a
didn't
lot.
do it, so I'm
Yeah.
like, oh god.
I did
Run
it like
first.
9 times
Run
last
first.
night when I was trashed and I wasted every good roll. I'm gonna get trashed this time.
I'm sticking with what I get too. I'm not gonna take the standard. I'm just sticking with whatever I get.
Ooh, calling it out
Bold
from the gate.
It's a bold move,
Forward,
Colin. Let's see how that
forward,
plays out for you. You're like
See
the
if it
village
pays out
idiot.
for him. Yeah.
All right. I need to put something into the chat real fast.
Just the village idiot, just like walking around with like a fucking hammer and
I'm gonna
like
start with
a plate.
leprosy and like.
Yeah, I swear to God, you better take the feat luck so you can re-roll those.
just a lucky village idiot.
Yeah.
All throughout the game, we're just be like, why is this asshole still here?
Hey guys, you gonna go kill that third horseman?
I'm gonna go. I want to go too.
That sounds like fun. Like, no, it's gonna be terrible and dangerous. Oh, no, it's fine.
Just a frying pan and a candle.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so don't open this file yet.
Okay.
We have files.
I just
Alright.
put one into the chat. We're going to be utilizing that in a second. Is there anything else anybody wants to go over about team composition stuff that doesn't apply to like individual, like the kind of stuff we were talking about? But
Yeah. We talked about team leaders. Are we still all of the kind of general consensus of if one pops up, but otherwise we're voting and being democratic about it?
Yeah.
Okay.
all right, so I'm gonna pull up the page here. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay, so we talked about the team composition discussion stuff, but what I was saying in the chat earlier about all preconceived stuff going in the trash, I meant it. That doesn't mean you can't have parts of that come back, but we're gonna try to start with a clean slate. So I've never done what we're gonna do right now with some players, but we're gonna try something and just see how it goes. So we're gonna be listening to a 5-minute audio track, and it is going to help. I'll wait for Colin to come back.
I'm also listening. I want to grab paper.
No, you're
I'm
good.
sorry.
No, you're fine.
I wanted to
Just
grab
wants
paper.
to see your expression when he reveals.
I just wanted to grab paper when we came back, but I heard nipple clamps or something, so I ran over real quick to see what we were talking about.
If I end up playing a caster, this will be my notebook for the game.
Sick.
Yeah.
That's cool. What we did
Okay.
for a game I ran when my wife was a player, she had a bunch of spells, so we went and printed off some and laminated them, so she has a whole deck of cards. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I have the paladin spell cards.
They're all
that,
here.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna be listening to a 5-minute audio track, and the point of this is to completely clear your minds and preparing to find the character that's inside of you. So, because we're gonna be trying to come off as high value production as we can, I want the characters that you guys build to not be artificial, just be something that comes from inside of you. Does that make sense? So
Sure.
when we're all going to start the audio track at the same time, and during that portion, let's have no conversation and just completely relax, let go of everything, and just try to find yourself in a neutral, calm place, and then I'm gonna go through a series of questions. So if you guys don't have something to write on or to type on, get that prepared now before we start. When we come into it, I'm gonna start going through these questions, and you guys won't be talking during it. You're just gonna be writing down your answers to these questions, and then the stuff that you write down. Oh, he's back. Okay.
I've heard you.
Okay. So the stuff that you write down during this process, I'm not saying you have to use it, but I've never tried this. Let's see how it goes, and try to use the things that you write down to inspire the character that you develop. And I want it to be, you're not making this character, you're allowing space inside of you for a character to emerge, and then that's what I want you to try to build. Does that make sense?
Yes. The famous "don't think, become."
Exactly. So I want the mindset to be, you're not role-playing this character. This character is inside of you. We're going to try to let it out, and this is going to be you. And the other 6 days of the week are that it becomes the character that you are. You're role-playing a real life, and then once game time starts, you get to be yourself. Does that make sense? So we're kind of flipping reality to where this is the real you. All right. So everybody pull up the audio track, and we'll all listen to it together. And again, no conversation. Just let it clear everything out. And then once it's concluded, everyone give a thumbs up when you're done. And then
It's still downloaded.
And then we'll go through these questions. You won't say anything. You're just gonna write down, and I'll give time for each one, and just kind of like look at the camera or whatever, so I know you're ready to go. Is everybody ready?
Yeah,
Downloading.
I'm downloading as well.
Okay, go ahead and
Yeah.
Surprisingly large file.
No, yeah, you told us
Yeah.
enough to download, so we're like, okay, we're going.
we're gonna download first, but don't start until we're all at the same moment.
And fucking Kyle up there, just ready to rock.
Oh, that's you ready? God, your internet.
Man, Montana, there's no good internet up here. There's bears and meth heads.
Which one's in charge of the internet?
The bears.
A valid question.
They're scary, man. I'm terrified of bears.
I do like some rock hounding in the summer, usually. And 2 years ago, I was out, like, there's like a mountain pass, and I saw a big ass black bear. Like, he got within 50 feet of me. But
Literally, Go ahead.
he got like stuck in some like brush, and so me and Khaleesi were able to get away. But man, he was like coming my way.
Literally, the day I moved up here, a bear ate a guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Like, it was on the news and shit. It ate a guy. I was like, this is bullshit.
All right, Dylan, are you download?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right. I'll start the countdown, and then no talking. And this seems really corny, but I think there's something that could actually be. So try to embrace this, even if this is totally out of your element. All right, 3, 2,
I like it.
1, start. as you listen, in the process of becoming no one. You want nothing, you come from nowhere, and you have no desires. I want you to start picturing the character that's inside. The one that wants to come out. And you're going to give it permission to answer all the questions that we're going to go over. Give me a thumbs up when your audio's done. Alright. In a single word, what best describes you overall? In a single word, what best describes you overall? Take your time, and when you're done, look at the camera or thumbs up, whatever. Okay. What is the best thing that has ever happened to you? What is the best thing that has ever happened to you? What is your deepest fear? What is your deepest fear? What is your darkest secret? What is your darkest secret? What is your most embarrassing moment? What is your most embarrassing moment? The thing your character would not want anybody to know. What do you care about? What does your character care about?
So I was doing these for myself at first.
I figured I'd tie that in. You are answering these as the character that is trying to come out. If anybody has answered these as yourself, go ahead and you can put your thumb down. Go ahead and go through real quick to answer them as that character, not yourself. And then once everybody's caught up to this point. Finish it clarified. What aspiration do you have that has always eluded you? What aspiration do you have that has always eluded you? What brings you the most joy? What brings you the most joy?